So their crew, again, they provided the whole thing without charge. The media were there. I plugged this in not to show off myself, but I like this because Dave Padilla from KCBS, you've heard him reporting on KCBS, he asked me the best questions of any interviewer ever. You know, I got interviewed by a lot of people and so forth because of this project. And what a pro he was. Really, really fun to talk with him. Of course, he didn't know anything more about the beacon than anybody else did at the time, but oh, he was good.
John, before you switch, go back. So you see the guy in the white hat?
Oh yeah, the guy in the white hat.
That's your younger brother.
Tom Crosby here is there in the back. That's quite right. One of the other pleasures that we just sort of touched on.
What was the question that he asked?
Which one?
Dave Padilla.
Padilla.
Oh, I don't even remember. I just remember when we got done, you know, thank you very much. And I can't remember. Wow, they were like these open-ended questions, no yes and no answer kind of stuff, but they were probing. Just, oh, what a pro. I mentioned we mentioned real quick about Ron came up with the idea to restore the beacon, and he went to Dick. And Dick said, yeah, that's kind of an interesting project. And I happened to walk into the office just as they were leaving, and I said, hey, what's going on? And he said, well, we're just talking about restoring the beacon. And I said, oh, I want to be part of that. And really what it was, I do enjoy old stuff and restorations and so forth. I really wanted to work with Dick.
Old stuff.
So, working with Dick was a true pleasure if you have a chance to undertake another project or join Friends of San Ramon Creek or something like that. Or still save Diablo, an extraordinary talent for getting this stuff done, managing the project and so forth. We were very fortunate to have Dick on board. So there. So we wrapped it up and headed down the hill to a donated warehouse space. Again, another fellow saw an article in the newspaper, Rex Bothell, who thought, gee, that's a cool project, I want to be involved. He contacted Save Diablo, and it turned out he had a warehouse for his own business with some extra space in Concord, in North Concord. And Rex became an integral part of this whole thing. John Stewart on the left there with the hat is a retired engineer from PG&E and had done a lot of volunteer projects for Save Diablo with radio communication stuff. He's a ham, knows his electrical stuff very well. He was part of it. A particular find was Alan Frank that again, in a small world thing, one of our volunteers worked at the lab, and he said, I might know a guy who could help on that. He has a PhD in optical physics, number one. Number two, we didn't know this at the time, he is, in his retirement, works as a docent for the Niles Canyon Railway. So he's familiar with old stuff. And I called him up, and I told him what's going on, and I brought a piece of the front cover of the glass over to him, and he's holding it up, doing trigonometry in his head. And I said, you're our boy. and he's making measurements and so forth. So we're looking directly into the beacon, and I can tell you that this is turned way down. This is like running with 10 volts or something like that. In no way could you look at this if the beacon were shining brightly. In no way. So John and Alan got together. John made these plans up for a new lamp stand. Of course, we didn't need the nice mercury switch changer anymore. It's a nice artifact, the kind of stuff we worked with. You can see the layers of several of the layers of old paint. There were 6 or 8 of them, 9 of them. Layers of old paint that all had to be stripped. Those pieces actually are brass. That's a comparison to what it looks like now. The front cover was kind of fun. we had a big controversy about what kind of glass it was. I was convinced it was that newfangled Pyrex stuff that had come out in 1915. And it turned out I was absolutely wrong. It was regular old boring window glass, 3/16 of an inch, quarter inch thick. And so we got new slats of glass made, and we had to cut them in a circle. And this is a water jet cutter. I didn't know what a water jet cutter was. I'd heard of it, I didn't know what it was. And we laid all the slats out. Now, imagine this, if I took a garden hose and turned it on somebody here, it'd just be cold water, right? If I put a nozzle on it, it might hurt a little bit. How about if I ran it up to 60,000 pounds and put sand in the water?
That's what that does.
And a 2-millimeter jet, I think it is, it'd go right through you. And it cut this glass, I know it's a cliche like butter, went right through it. And in no time, I mean in less than 10 minutes, we had all the glass cut. No charge.
Where was that?
Alameda. This will come up in the video. I forgot the video had this same thing. For ages, we didn't know what color to paint the beacon. And I don't want to belabor it here because it's described in the video here in a second. A week before we were ready to paint the wrong color, our historian from Sacramento said, "I found a new photo." And it's the same photo, only it's in color. And the beacon is very clearly silver. So we got to paint it silver. Back up the hill, in October of 2013, a nice brisk morning, we brought it up. One of our survivors is talking, this is retired Ranger Bert Bogardus, who took care of the...
Who's sitting right over
beacon.
here.
Yes, I know. who took care of the beacon for how many years, Bert?
Since 1975.
There you go.
With a hammer in hand to make sure it rotated.
So Bert is one of the heroes of this beacon. Probably he could have said, "I don't want to deal with this," and would have been turned back off in 1976, you know. But Bert persisted. We're very fortunate about that.
The survivor that Bert was talking to is Chuck Kohler.
Yeah.
On Ford Island
Yes,
on December 7th.
He'll be in the video,
he's in the video.
which we need to show some.
So here we are bringing the beacon back up. What we call the bird cage, the structure to hold the red aircraft light up above the beacon. This is one of the riggers from Shell, Bobby Wilkes. Anybody want his job? Right? I'll tell you what, these guys are pros. They're incredibly good. And we set it up that same day we turned it on, while everybody was still there. Okay, Dick.
Okay, you've got the video. I
Videos.
was just going to introduce Bert Bogardus to everybody, but I guess that's already pretty much happened. Bert really did love this beacon for many years, and he was my mentor in beaconology.